Hi, I'm Emily with Heartfelt Creations, and today I'm going to be showing you some really cool tips and techniques using the elegant Calla lily card that we featured recently using our new lily petal pre-cut set. It's the HCPC 3315, so let's get started. The first thing we'll be doing today is making a Calla lily together. So your first step is using the Memento New Sprout ink, and I am inking out the biggest lily petal in the HCPC 3315. If you're not familiar with this set, if you type that item number into our search box on our website, that will bring that right up. So we'll just stamp this on a piece of white cardstock. Once you've done that, I will take the matching die. Now you'll notice that I made a template for this to start out with. I did that beforehand. I basically just ran my die through the machine on a piece of regular cardstock. When it came through, I just popped out the center, put a piece of tape down while the blades were still intact with the cut line, and then we'll just lift this up. We'll lay this right on top. Line this up, and once everything's lined up properly, we'll pop the die back down, put our tape down, and run this through your die cutting machine. These dies do work through most manual die cutting machines, so just run it through that and that'll cut it right out for you. Once you've stamped and cut this out, we'll take a little finger sponge dauber and daub onto our New Sprout Memento ink and just sponge around the edges. This will add just a little bit of color to the petal. Do a little bit more on the top. You don't have to do it all the way to the bottom because that part will get cut off. Once you've done this side, we'll flip it around and we'll do some on the back because the back will show a little bit as well. And for this one, I'll do it a little bit more towards the bottom just because the bottom will show more. And we can always go back and add a little bit more ink if we see some white spots after we finish the flower. So our next step is basically cutting a little bit of this petal off so we have a little shorter calla lily. I am going to measure approximately 1.5 inches on my score pal. That is right here. I'm measuring from this side right here. I'm just putting a little notch in with my paper piercer. And then I'm going to just clip that off with my scissors. Okay, once we've done that, I'm going to lay my paper piercer. Let me just lay this aside. Put your paper piercer into the center of your petal and then just fold this paper over towards the center. Do that on both sides. And this will start your curve for the calla lily. And I'm just basically doing this with the paper piercer to start that bend. Okay, that looks good. Just take the paper piercer back out. Since you kind of have your curve already, we'll just bring this out. We'll just kind of clamp that together and just make sure that everything looks good. And once you've done that, I grab my little stamen for the center. And that's this. It comes out of a Jolie's Boutique pack. It comes in a set of a couple different elements, but this is the part that I picked this out of. These are great. You can color them any color. They look great in a tiger lily. But what we're going to do is basically just put this right into the center and then add some glue. I'm using the Zip Dry. I like to use this because it's a fast drying glue. Actually, you know what? I missed one step. We're going to add a little white foam square right here in the center before we put that stamen in there. That actually makes it you can just peel the release paper off, stick this stamen on top, and that kind of holds that together while you're working on gluing this calla lily. So we'll just bring this together and I'll add some glue on this side, on this side, and this side. Just make sure that you've got plenty of glue in there. Just bring that together. like this. If you have a little bit of excess glue around the outside edges, that's okay. You can always wipe that off once it's dry. Just push that together, and then I'm going to grab what I call a little alligator clip. And we're going to clamp this right, let's put it this way. So clamp this bottom part down. And that will hold that together until that's dry. Once this petal is dry, you want to basically clip off the stamen bottom. Just clip that off right by the petal. And I actually beforehand did these two, and then I stamped a separate stem and just stuck that down the center. So that's what I'm going to do next, pre-stamped and cut this out. And I'm going to add just a little bit of zip dry glue right here in the bottom. This should be a little bit wet yet since we just got finished doing this. Let's just pick this off. Okay. Once you have a little bit of glue on there, you can just put this right down in the center. Just kind of push that in, and that'll be ready to put on our card. The next step basically is I cut some white strips of cardstock. We're going to twist this right around our paper piercer. And this creates those little spirals that you'll see on the elegant Calla Lily card. There's number one. I'll do that for the second one. This is a quick way to just create some very cute little elements on your card. Okay, this is good. I pre-stamped this card panel using the large elegant word background. I stamped it in white and embossed it with bridal embossing powder, and then I pre-cut out these large elegant corners. This is out of the HCD 704 die cut set, and I embossed and inked these elements in the center. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay these calla lilies on here and start positioning them. And I did them on the original card. I just did them kind of in the center. Each of these calla lilies is a little bit different size just based off of how they were rolled and everything like that. So we'll kind of position these how we want them. Just make this stem move over this way a little bit. And we can always kind of move that back around again. Okay, that looks good. So we will grab our glue, just glue this down. And you can kind of just position this crosswise on your card. Okay, we'll do the middle one. And we'll bring this one just a little bit further up. I'm not too concerned about this stem because we can always move that around. And we'll do, this is the tiniest one. Okay, I'm just going to flip this around. I have two leaves that I pre-stamped and cut out. I'm just going to bend these a little bit to add more life to them. I'm going to add some glue to these. You could also use 3D dots on this project if you want to. That would raise up the leaves a little bit more. Glue that one on that side. Put some more glue on this one. Put that on this side. Like that. And then I'm going to grab these little white spirals and just add these into the center. Going to utilize my paper piercer for this technique. It just helps push it in. That. We'll do the other side. And we'll just kind of put that right in with the other one on the other opposite side. Just bring that down just a little bit further. So this creates a very elegant calla lily bouquet. Once you break it down, it's actually very simple, like I showed you. So hopefully this has given you some really cool tips and techniques. I'll just flip this around so you can see this. It's still drying, but as you can see, this is very simple, yet very sophisticated and elegant. A lot of people have gone crazy over this. So we hope you enjoy making a masterpiece of your own.